Ну, впоследствии чего осталось? Вот это ебала ракета, нахуй. Вот воронки от нее, блядь.
Consequences of the Atacms attack on Mospine airfield occupied Donetsk region using 5 Atacms ballistic missiles. The attack resulted in the destruction of 2 S-300 and 400 air defense missile launchers, the 96 L6E radar, and the S-300-400 control center. Additionally, 1 S-300 and 400 missile launcher was damaged. There were no reported casualties among personnel.
Ну, впоследствии чего осталось? Вот это ебала ракета, нахуй. Вот воронки от нее, блядь. Вот. Все, пиздец. Все сгорело, нахуй. Уедь можно, блядь.
The air defense umbrella in Crimea is being methodically destroyed. This was reported by the speaker of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army, South Sergei Brachuk. The losses of air defense systems in Crimea today are large, but not yet as critical as we would like. Of course, the enemy is maneuvering across the territory of the Ukrainian peninsula, which is under temporary occupation. He is trying to use his mobility there, and in fact, this is why the partisan underground movement is working, to find out where these complexes are and how quickly we can give a response to them. In any case, the most important thing is that today we managed to implement the strategy of destroying this air defense umbrella over Crimea, and we see this in the corresponding Crimean triangle, Brachuk said. Another war story. On the night of May 10th, in the Kharkiv region, one of the first enemy groups was met by soldiers of the Siberian Battalion, which is composed of Russian volunteers fighting on the Ukrainian side. Putin's soldiers, with their flashlights on, suspecting nothing, approached Sabotage's positions. One of them managed to say, "Volodya, turn off the flashlight." And as a result, we turned off Volodka and most of the enemy group. Russian troops in Vovchansk got stuck in street battles after minor successes during the offensive in the north of the Kharkiv region and suffered heavy losses, Commander-in-Chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces Oleksandr Syrsky reports. Currently, the enemy is transferring reserves from various directions, trying to support active assault actions, but without success, he adds. The remains of the Russian Su-25 jet shot down this afternoon by the 110th Brigade, the 5th this month. Russians can feel the presence of U.S. weapons. Ukrainian kamikaze drone flying over Tatarstan, deep into Russian territory. The Atesh guerrilla carried out sabotage in Russian Smolensk and weakened the air defense system of the Russian armed forces in the region. An agent of the movement destroyed the external telecommunications cabinet of the communication tower in the village Stanichki near Smolensk. Due to equipment damage, the communication systems of the Russian air defense system of the 49th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces, which were located on this tower, ceased to function. There may be disruptions to the stability of the military command and control system in the region. The Russian air defense system in the region will noticeably weaken, which will make it possible to more effectively strike military targets in the Moscow military district. We are expecting unknown UAVs in the area. Russian colonialism in Chad. More cannon fodder for meat waves in Ukraine. a little Soviet army is unable to defeat a big Soviet army. But an unequipped Western army is also unable to defeat it. Trusting Ukraine to strike the right balance is essential. The West should refrain from lecturing Ukraine. While we can offer advice and assistance, Ukraine has unparalleled experience in fighting a full-scale war, far beyond what we have encountered. We fail to provide Ukraine with adequate military and financial support to effectively mobilize, equip, and train sufficient personnel. Nevertheless, Ukraine is exerting every effort to overcome its manpower and frontline challenges. Furthermore, we heavily constrain Ukraine by prohibiting them from using the weapons we provide to target Russian territory. Another instance is our refusal to supply weapons to one of their most elite brigades due to our susceptibility to Russian propaganda. The summer counteroffensive serves as a notable example of attempting to emulate the tactics of a modern Western army without the necessary resources and adequate preparation time. This approach proved ineffective and was prematurely executed under Western pressure. Regrettably, Ukraine must compensate for its equipment shortages and lack of air support with higher human losses. Additionally, Ukraine lacks the luxury of extensive brigade-level training prior to deployment. Syrskyi is sometimes criticized for employing Soviet-style tactics. However, attributing attrition solely to the Soviet approach is overly simplistic. Ukraine cannot conduct successful offensives or achieve favorable attrition rates without being prepared to endure losses. Our restrictions on Ukraine are excessive, and we do not provide enough support or time for a thorough and direct transition to a fully Western doctrine. Instead, Ukraine is striving to develop a customized and balanced approach based on its available resources. Ukraine must strike the right balance. Western peacetime doctrines, which prioritize constantly minimizing casualties, are ineffective when confronted with a full-scale war against an enemy with significantly superior resources and no regard for any rules. Ukraine persists despite limited weapon supplies and useless restrictions. It is crucial to allow Syrskyi and the entire leadership some leeway. While not everything has been flawless, Ukraine consistently proves its worthiness of our respect and trust.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.